Coppinger, please.
Ceann Comhairle, I'd like to move the first stage of the Prohibition of Fur Farming Bill. This bill gives the Dáil the opportunity to ban a cruel and unethical practice of fur farming in Ireland. It's a bill that has the active support of campaigners in Ireland, and indeed it's gathering a huge momentum internationally as well. I'd like to thank the Irish Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, the Fur Free Alliance, the National Animal Rights Association, the Irish Council Against Blood Sports, Respect for Animals and many other campaigners who support this bill and are campaigning for a ban on fur farming in Ireland. And I'd also like to welcome people into the Dáil who are watching the beginning of this debate today, who've been waiting anxiously for this to be raised in the Parliament. In Ireland, fur farming is done on 3 farms, where there are approximately 200,000 mink. In the past, there was fox farming here as well, which is still legal, although it's not done at the moment. Mink are not, and I emphasise not, domesticated animals, and they fear humans. All other farmed animals generally are domesticated animals who don't fear humans in their daily contact. The EU Scientific Committee on Animal Health and Welfare has described fur farming as inherently unethical, and that it's not possible to stop it being cruel through regulation. Mink are native to North America and Russia. They're semi-aquatic and they live as solo hunters. In fur farms, they're kept in cages and away from what would be considered their natural habitat. Given they're ferocious hunters,
during the presentation of the...
Is that a requirement?
It's normal.
Just got so used to that kind of thing, didn't bother raising it. We hang on, Ceann Comhairle, because there should be somebody from agriculture, wouldn't it be?
Yeah, well, maybe I think the Minister for Education is going to join us. Are you, Minister, maybe for this? Thank you, Deputy Howland. Yes, go ahead.
Need me to start again, Ceann Comhairle? Or?
Oh no, you're all right. Go
sure.
ahead from where you were.
Okay. So in fur farms, mink are kept in cages and away from what would be considered in any way their natural environment. Given they're ferocious hunters, they're kept under strictly secure premises. Indeed, the first law related to mink in Ireland was aimed at keeping them out of Ireland and to have regulations attached to any that might be here. Now, public opinion is very firmly against fur farming and the fur industry. It's reflected in the fact that there are no major retailers in Ireland that stock fur products, and when fur is identified in stores by campaigners, it's usually swiftly removed by retailers. Fur produced here is on the export market. Fur farming is already illegal in Britain, in the north and in a range of countries across Europe, and this bill amends the Animal Health and Welfare Act 2013 to clarify that fur farming would be illegal here. Already, this Act prohibits farming not in line with the animal's nature, type, species and breed, development, adaptation, domestication, psychological and behavioural needs. However, the Minister still issues fur farming licences. This bill will give legal clarity around the need to ban fur farming. Just to say about the history of this issue in this Dáil, fur farming was to be wound down after a government decision in 2009. But in 2011, unfortunately, the Labour Fine Gael government reversed that decision. We would, of course, welcome the Minister not renewing licences and issuing regulations. However, I think law is needed in this area to prevent future ministers reversing such a decision. People are aware of how Fine Gael and Labour voted for the 2005 bill to ban fur farming, but then it was reversed in a later decision. I would also finally say about jobs, no doubt that argument will be made, but the work on fur farms is seasonal and generally done by people travelling in and out of the country, not living here. I think this is an idea whose time has come. Solidarity proposed a ban on circus animals, and the government acted swiftly in advance of that bill being actually debated in the Dáil to regulate in this area. But I would appeal to people in the Dáil, obviously, to support this and all parties, but also to people who care about this issue to campaign vociferously, to ask TDs and senators to support this bill. It would seem that under this system, under capitalism, the cruel treatment of animals can be highly profitable, but any measures to stop cruel practices can challenge the profits of an industry, and I've no doubt the fur farming industry will retaliate, and therefore it's very important that people lobby their public representatives to support this bill.
Is the bill being opposed? The bill is not being proposed. The motion for leave to introduce is agreed. May I ask Deputy Coppinger to move that the second stage be taken in private members' time?
Yeah, I so move.
Is that agreed? Agreed. Can I call